Afternoon. I was going to review 4 more cards for my Israel the Gathering set. These are Book of Mormon cards based off of the Book of Mormon, playable with Magic the Gathering, if Magic the Gathering ever made a set sporting the Book of Mormon. This one's Desolate Heritage, 3 colorless, 1 blue, legendary enchantment, a rare. Your creatures have Battle Cry, if they already have Battle Cry, and it acts as +1 Battle Cry, which means that if they attack, then your other creatures would get a +1/+0, and if they already have Battle Cry, then it would be +2/+0. Thus saith the Lord, in an acceptable time have I heard thee, O isles of the sea, and in a day of salvation have I helped thee. And I will preserve thee, and give thee my servant for a covenant of the people to establish the earth, and cause to inherit the desolate heritage. So I think I'm just going to make one right now. This desolate heritage and the desolation of abomination. I think what happened to the Jaredites, they kept saying that the Jaredites were of the land of desolate, or the desolation. And what it is that when Limhi's scouts found the Jaredite remains, they thought it was Zarahemla, and they thought they were wiped out because their bones were everywhere. Which also fits with my theory that that battle must have happened fairly recent. If just think about it, you're a scout, you go up to the place trying to find Zarahemla, and you find bones everywhere. And when you find the bones everywhere, you're not going to be like, oh, this is Zarahemla, the place we left, a generation ago. If, according to the timeline, this whole thing happened 400 years after the time that the Jaredites all died. Let's say 300 years to be generous with the timeline. Let's not be generous and say 200 years. That's still going to be kind of a stretch to say, oh, this is Zarahemla. So let's put it within the 100-year range. And you still might have people wondering if it's Zarahemla or not. In my timeline, it might be within the 20-25-year range or less. So they go up there, there's bones everywhere, and they're going to say, oh no, Zarahemla's all got wiped out. Here's their armor, here's their weapons, and they take it back. And Limhi has them as a testimony of what happened, and the land is called Desolation ever since. Going back to who the Jaredites were, Moroni says that Moroni sees Christ, and then he reports that the Jaredites had silk. So let's not forget these things. So if they say the Book of Mormon is true, then the Jaredites had silk. If the Jaredites had silk, silk is usually associated with China, Japan. The history of silk is very interesting. And so here we have someone doing acrobatics with a little bit of the style artwork that would depict maybe a little bit of a Japanese style athleticism, and they have an odachi that they're holding upside down. It's the idea is that who are the desolate heritage? Who's this group of people? And my theory is that in Moroni's words in the Book of Ether, that they died in the same place that the Nephites died, except when in their record, the Jaredite record, or in the Book of Ether, they're driven south. So they kept saying that they were being driven south until we get to the place that they called, I think, Rama, but that's basically the same hill, Cumorah. So if they get driven south, that means they're to the north, and if they're to the north, they're in Canada, because President Bednar recently declared the hill of Cumorah is the hill that the Nephites died on, which by association, it's the same hill the Jaredites died on. So this is why the image of the desolate heritage is like this. It's pointing that this group of people who forgot themselves. In fact, the Lamanites during the Nephites' wars took upon them the story of the Nephites. The Nephites said, hey, you came here, you wronged our brothers in the wilderness, blah, 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 blah. I don't think that's their story at all. I think they're Jaredites. And they were so wiped out, they lost all sense of their own nationality to the north and to the south. I think their history is also tied into the Jaredites, but I think the northern kingdom was controlling them through trade routes and contracts, and the southern kingdom was subservient to them. But when the northern kingdom fell, or where Coriantumr and Shiz fought in the north, the southern kingdom, the Incas and the Mayas, would have been freed, or freed up to do whatever they wanted to do. And there's a lot of speculation there, but there is history that the Incas and the Mayas kind of just disappear and then the Aztecs show up. Well, if they were called in to fight in the northern wars, then they would just disappear because they're going north to fight in a battle that they probably have little to do with, but they made alliances and contracts with the northern kingdom. It's my theory, and that when they were called in to fight, they had to go up north. Then, when they were wiped out, the people who inherit the southern kingdom would have been the Aztecs. Now, like I said, I don't have a lot to go off of, but the logic I'm taking is heavily based off the fact that the Book of Mormon is true, and we're going to use that as the anchor. So this theory is anchored in that. Not to say that I'm right, but to say that these are possible scenarios with the information we have. But like I said, I'm associating this desolate heritage with the fallen Jaredite kingdom, and thanks for watching.